Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, your go-to source for everything on the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether you're a diehard motherfucker like me, or just getting to know Raider Nation, our passionate hosts are here to bring you all the excitement on Raiders football. I'm Shit Show Joe, and welcome to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Let's go, Raiders! If not, fuck your team.
And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, and I am here with my misfit crew. I am Raider Will. I got my girl representing DFW for life, Lady Val. Deuces. Then I got my boy representing TBH Westco, Matty B.
What up, fam? How's everybody doing?
What up, baby? Yo, guys, lots of news coming out of Raider Nation this week. You know, since last week, we've had Spytek get signed with the press conference. We had Pete Carroll come out, get signed. Now he had a press conference. A lot of Hey, all that stuff had people so hyped, just like Marshawn Lynch. You hear the dogs is hyped over there at SSJ's house, baby.
No, we're getting severe storms, and there was lightning and then the thunder, which obviously scared me, but the dog made it more intense. So thunder, lightning.
But hey, lots have happened. Lots going on. We had the John Spytek and the Pete Carroll press conference. Did you guys get a chance to watch it yet?
Yep.
You guys did?
Yeah.
All right.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. It's been pretty crazy between work.
No, I got you.
I literally have not been able to do much watch, just pieces here and there.
What I liked is you could really break it down into a couple of parts, man. Really, he talked about how he's going to build his staff, how they're going to build the roster, the relationship between himself and John Spytek, how it's going to work from head coach to GM. You know, his age was addressed. He also had a little bit of a philosophy thing going on where he was telling people the way that he worked and he operated and the way that he looked at building the culture within the Raiders now. And he even had a message for one of his players and his leaders there. So it was a really, really good press conference, man. Matty B, what were your thoughts on the press conference?
Yeah, like I was saying to you last night, like I felt like this press conference had more energy to it, even though it was just a basic press conference, if you get what I'm saying. You know, it wasn't like some big hyped up like Antonio Pierce press conference where you had everybody coming out. And it was just the energy in the room was trying to be like, you know, like we're bringing the Raiders back, you know, type shit. You know, this right here is like we're going to focus on building a core unit and building stability around this place. And this is how we're going to do it. And this is what we're going to do. So, you know, and just the way they talked about it, the way they carried themselves, it was something about that interview that got me hyped up about it. That I think, like, we're gonna be turning over some new leaves and shit like that here. So,
no, absolutely, brother. And I think when you talk about how this press conference went and how electric and energizing was and refreshing, I think you hit a lot of the nails on the head. And let's just get right into it, man. Let's get a couple clips. I have a clip here when Pete Carroll addresses how and what he's looking for in his coaches. Let me play with this for you guys real quick. Let's see here.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you guys can't hear anything?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know why it's not sharing any of the audio here. So, all right. Basically, guys, in the first clip, what he talks about is, hey, he's going to bring in guys that he has worked with, guys that fit his philosophy, guys that fit exactly what he wants to teach. And what I see with Pete Carroll, it's going to bring a lot of positivity. It's going to bring a lot of the stuff that we have been lacking within the organization. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that we felt like AP was going to bring. You know, when AP came in, everybody was saying, hey, he's going to bring in this fresh breath air, this positivity in the building. He's going to get people working together, organizing together, and having them all teach the same way. If you guys have heard anything about, you know, Pete Carroll's ability to coach, it's that he's a player's coach. He makes it fun. He makes you want to be there. He makes you want to get better. A lot of the key words that I kept hearing in the press conference were, let's make sure that we compete. Compete, compete, compete. That was the main emphasis that I heard in his philosophy. He said, hey, we are here to teach the players what we want. We want them to compete. We want them to get better. And the way that we're just going to teach them, but they're going to take over, and it's going to be a player-led team. Basically changing the culture and saying, hey, we're here to compete. We're going to compete with each other, and we're going to compete to be better every single day. I really liked his message when he said that. And when he talked about his coaches, you know, again, we're talking about guys like Patrick Graham. He said, hey, I want to keep continuity. I want to keep old coaches that are good. You got the defensive line coach, Leonard. And then, like we said, Carl Scott. Now, offensively, we already know that he's already sent out messages to Darrell Bevel, who he coached with the Seahawks. You know, I think Thad Lewis, the quarterback's coach that is outside or out of Tampa Bay, might be coming over as well. So, a couple of interesting picks. Matty B, hit me up with your thoughts, brother.
Yeah, I kind of like the Bevel signing, like, or the look at Bevel. You know, he's had success in his system, with 2 Super Bowls with him. You know, so he's got the mentality that he's looking for. If that's what you're talking about, you know, like bringing in that culture. He and then Thad Lewis, like, I think he could be actually pretty good too. Honestly, like I've heard a little bit of stuff about him, not too much, but I've heard his name being floating around a little bit here and there. So, and I heard a lot of people, you know, kind of praising him about it. So, another guy is Patrick Graham. I really like that. I think there was a report out earlier that they're in talks or something like that, or I might be wrong. I don't know. That might be a little early.
You are correct. Joseph
So,
Anderson did say that they are in talks and that they're looking at the contract situation at the moment.
okay, cool. So yeah, so anyways, like, you know, they're in the talks right now. This is another thing, you know. I think, like you said, continuity, you know, like we need to have people to continue to be there, man. Like, if we're gonna restart this whole thing, like, at least keep what's good. You know, every time we restart, you get rid of what's good, and then we got to try to rebuild and try to refine pieces that are good. You know what I mean? And then John Gruden, for instance, you know, we trade Khalil Mack. You know, we're going to go get all these first round picks for it. We didn't get anything in return for Khalil Mack. You know, so it's like we get rid of stuff that's good and stuff that's working to try to rebuild. So I think keeping Patrick Graham and the way he coached last year with all the injuries and everything that he had on the line, he still led a pretty good, decent team for having a bunch of scrubs on the back end of the. I mean, I wouldn't say scrubs. I'm sorry, I won't say scrubs because ain't nobody in the NFL scrubs. But I'm just saying, you know, for second, third stringers and stuff like that coming in and doing what they did, you know, underneath him. So I really do like that. I think we should really bring him back. Max Crosby thrives under him. Robert Spillane thrives under him. Um, I, I think that's the guy that we got to bring back on defense. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Val, let us know what you think about what, Pete Carroll said about his coaching. Like, the things that he's bringing in, I kind of summarized it for you, but I'd be like, that's what he was thinking, bringing in guys that he's worked with, guys that he hasn't worked with, a little bit of everything to try to get a good mixture. What do you think about that?
And the method to his madness. I mean, he wasn't as successful as he is for no reason. He he knows what he sees the end of the tunnel. Like he can visualize the final results. I mean, whatever. Let's go, Pete. I mean, I'm ready. I'm trusting you. Don't break my heart the way Antonio Pierce did, okay? But you know what? And just like to kind of go back, with Will, I do agree with you. It feels different this time. I remember when AP did his first press, and it was very hype. It's kind of like a similar feeling, but this feeling is a little bit more legit. It is more. I don't even know what the word is, but
It's just different.
it is, because you know that you're going to do better than the last season. There's going to be there's a lot more work going to be put in. Players are going to change in positive ways. And then, we're going to lose a player. I don't know who. But, I mean, there's just definitely more hope than this one. So whatever he wants to do, let's go. I saw that phrase that everybody's saying that they're ready to compete.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on that boat.
Hey, exactly. Look at this, man. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is absolutely different. Raider Nation need to stop being in this mindset that it's rinse and repeat. Guys, we have a legitimate coach that has won at every single level. This guy is different. He's coming in and saying, man, with the coaching staff, I want to make a mixture. And this is what makes him so unique. He does things differently. He said it in the interview. I do things differently. I don't slice the pie the same way that everybody else does. I'm going to bring guys that have been here. So that way he gets to know, because what did he say? I have to know my guys quickly. I have to know my guys as fast as possible. What better way of doing that than having coaches in place that fit your philosophy, that are already on the staff, that have been with these guys 2 to 3 years, some of them. Hey, Matty B, you hit it on the head. Patrick Graham had a top 15 defense last year. Yes, I get it. In his 6 years, he's never had a top 10 defense, whether it's for passing or rushing the ball. But he has had a top scoring defense twice. Twice. That means they create turnovers, they do stuff well, and guess what? They were depleted by injuries this year, and he still had a top 15 defense. This team did not suffer because the defense was bad. This team suffered because of the inability to move the football on offense and be consistent. So to say that Patrick Graham is not a good, solid coach, it's not like we're hiring Dennis Allen from the Saints.
Oh my Lord.
And everybody sat there when Ben Johnson got hired, and everybody was like, oh, he's going to hire this all-star staff. The Saints had the number 27th ranked defense. And again, that's why I keep saying, this is ridiculous to say that Patrick Graham is not a solid coach. He's a great coach. He has a good defense. To keep this guy and to keep Leonard is fantastic. We're talking about keeping Max Crosby happy. Do you think Max Crosby has a say when it comes to his defensive line coach? Absolutely, man. So, yo, I was going to play another clip. The next clip, guys, talks about the non-negotiables that they have for their players and the quarterback position. Those are all key things that happen, okay? They said they want guys that are hungry, guys that are leaders. They're not looking for the fastest guy. They're not looking for the most athletic guy, the guy with the biggest arm. They don't want that. What they're looking for are guys that are going to push guys off the field and on it. Matty B, what were your thoughts when they hit you with the QB roster spot question?
Yeah, man. He's gotta have his guy, man. And he knows how to find him, and I believe everything that he said on there. We gotta do this, we gotta find that. Quarterback's gotta have competency at that position, man. He's gotta be able to know what he's doing. He's gotta be able to make quick reads. He's gotta be able to know his in and outs. He's gotta be able to know what his defense is doing. And not be scared. He's gotta be able to basically be the leader of the team, man. And whatever rocks and stones and shit they got to turn over to find it, I think this guy can get it done. So,
Pete,
yeah.
And Spytek.
you know, I don't know anything about Spytek, but the vibe I was also getting, like watching the bits and pieces of like the press and stuff, they're so confident. Like if you look back on like Antonio Pierce's press, he's like, yeah, he's telling us stuff, but it's not like it wasn't with confidence. Like we got this, And the few times I've seen like the bits and pieces, he's confident. He's like, let's do this, Like he's strictly business.
No, absolutely. And this
I
is
love it.
where the difference is, okay? He says, I've done this before. This isn't my first rodeo, basically. I know what I'm doing. You know what I liked about Pete Carroll? Spytek says, we're going to turn every stone. We're going to do everything. Matty B, you said the same thing. I love it, right? But Pete Carroll comes in. He says, you know what, guys? What we're going to do is we're going to build around the quarterback position. We are going to get the best players possible to build around him. Look at our situation right now. We're in the 6th pick. No way are we going to move up into the top 3 to get one of those guys. We already know this right now. If they're already making a move like this. So what do they have to do? They have to build around them. Look at the Seahawks. The Super Bowl winning Seahawks. They had a 3rd round draft pick as a quarterback. And you get a beast mode running back and you plow the line and you make good plays and you play good defense and they won a championship. The philosophy fits the Raiders. I mean, like for the situation that we're in right now, I truly believe Pete Carroll is the perfect coach to come into this situation. And again, it's like Val said, there's confidence. Hey, I've done this before. I've been here. I've rebuilt programs. And that's another key word I kept hearing. Matty B, how many times did you hear that word? Program. Compete.
Program, everything.
Hey, you get what they're talking about. You understand. Now, another thing they said about the players that they want to bring in, Val, is are players that are hungry to be here. Players that want to be here, that want to excel. John Spytek had great pride in saying that I think like 49 out of the 53 people on the Buccaneers roster were either undrafted free agents or drafted players through the Buccaneers. So I mean, like this situation it's really, really good. They also explained how the decisions on personnel is going to be made. Pete Carroll addressed that immediately. He said, we're going to work side by side 50-50. We're going to be attached at the hip. We're going to work together in this relationship. The whole time, the whole model, the whole press conference, he talked about how, they can work together with one guy's experience and one guy's youth. How they can combine with one strength and one weakness. Guys, this was what we were talking about before this even happened. Pete Carroll brings experience. When you have a rookie and you have a guy that's like experienced, it makes you feel better. I mean, like 2 rookies, man, it's like, hey, man, we don't know what we're doing. But when a guy comes in there and he's like, hey, baby, don't worry, we've been down this road. I got you. Totally different ball game. Val, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on that? Like how they're going to work their relationship and how that's going to work?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I just it's I just know it's gonna work. I just have a feeling. I I don't know. I feel
No,
good about this next season. I'm ready for this next season. I'm ready to see how they work beside each other. I'm ready to see the culture they're going to continue making it stronger. I'm excited to see who we're drafting, how we're going to draft. Um, because we're gonna go best available player. Like we're not probably not gonna get a quarterback in the first round. That's okay. Pete knows what he's doing. Spytek, they know what they're doing. All my trust is in them. I just feel it.
absolutely. Maddie B.
Yeah, like you said, man, that's what we've been talking about. If, like I said, man, Pete Carroll's been my number one pick this whole off season. Like I thought we should have picked him up. People said it was his age, but what do girls say all the time? Age is just a number, right? You know what they say, Val? So I
Duh.
mean, and so you bring in experience, man. Like we've had experience in there. We've had experienced coaches, yes. Have we failed with experienced coaches? Absolutely. But we've never had anybody like Pete Carroll before. I mean, for how many years? It's been a long, long time since we've had somebody like Pete Carroll come in. To get
That part.
somebody like that is very, very like rare. Because if I tell you right now, if Pete Carroll wasn't 74 years old, he wouldn't have been out of the league last year. He would still be coaching. He would have been a hot commodity last year and would have been on a team. But a lot of people stayed away from him because of his age. In my opinion, I don't know if that's true. That's just me. But anyways, I think bringing in a young mind at GM. What's up, Mike?
Well, look what the
Holy
cat drug is.
shit.
What up? What up?
What up? Hold
See,
up.
Let me
Holy
hold
shit.
on.
Whoa.
Is that Gunny? Hold on.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Okay. Hey.
podcast over. Everybody go home.
We don't even know what we're talking about no more.
Yeah, everything just went
Oh my
blank.
god.
Gunny, give us the 411 on your thoughts on the Spytek and Pete Carroll combo that we just got, baby. Since you haven't been on the show all season long, baby,
It's your turn to
hit us with
shine.
it. It's your time to shine right now.
I like it better than what we were going to get. What everybody's excited about. Honestly, I think that's what they need. They need an established coach. They need somebody who's been there before. And Pete Carroll's obviously been there and done that. So, Spytek has proven his time, and if you look at the way he drafted over the last, 3 or 4 years, he crushed it. So, I got no problems with what we're doing right now. I'm excited, but I ain't that excited. I need to see it From now on, you got to show me something. Sure, I got too excited for nothing. So show me the money first.
But we were just talking about it with Matt, man. Let's and Val. Let's be real, man. Last year, we knew that we had a rookie head coach coming into the situation. We knew that was going to be an issue. This year, it's totally different. Pete Carroll's in there, and I mean, like, there's a sense of confidence. There's a sense of like, yo, I've been there and I've done this. Like, you can trust the process with what I've done because the proof is in the pudding. He won at USC. He won with the Seahawks. He's won everywhere that he's been. Bro, he has 181 wins. That guy has more wins than the past 14 coaches combined for the Raiders. The past 14. I mean, like, the guy is a proven winner. Tell me that it doesn't feel different. If it was Ben Johnson, I would get the hype. Ben Johnson has a lot of hype, and that's the whole new thing.
Mhm.
But Pete Carroll, man, is coming in here like a fucking overfed pit bull at 181 wins, and people are looking at him like he's a fucking chihuahua, bro. Like he's this little freaking poodle that's off to the side that can't do shit because he's 73. I don't give a shit if you're 103. If you can still go out there and coach and put it out there, bro, do what you do. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're right.
You're
right. You're right.
Bro, he's solid. This man is solid with, like I said, 181 wins. He has a proven track record. Every single team, there's Gunny's thing. But yo, I know that I feel like I'm getting on a high horse right now over Pete Carroll, but I feel like people are overlooking the pure fact that the guy's a winner. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Hey, I got a phone call and then like I couldn't hear you guys anymore, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Can't do anything. Every time I get a phone call, of course I'm doing something.
But I mean, like, the guy's a proven winner. The guy, he just has done it at every level, and it's hard for me because I get what Raider Nation is saying, but this isn't the same thing. AP, bro, he didn't have that experience. He couldn't rely on saying, "Hey, man," coming in and saying, "Here's my Super Bowl ring."
Yeah.
Like, this is what I can do. He couldn't do that. This motherfucker can walk in with a damn national championship and a Super Bowl ring and say, "Hey, man, I kind of know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead.
when he got fired, well, he didn't get fired, right? He got
Retired.
retired, right? When he got retired over there in Seattle, I was shocked. I was actually really surprised because the guys made the playoffs like almost every damn year, and if he didn't make the playoffs, he was over 500 almost every year with damn near nothing a lot of
Dude,
the time. So I
10
mean,
out of the
that's
14 years.
shocked. I was shocked when he was retired. I was
Yeah.
I'm glad we got him now. I'll take it.
I'll put it like this, Gunny. It's like when you're in the service, right? When you're in the service, man, you start seeing things. Things start changing as you start going in through the process. 20 years in, you're looking at it, it's not the same place that you signed up for. You know, so after 14 years, they were like, "Oh, you know what? I'm getting tired of winning." Because they went to the playoffs 10 out of the 14 years, and you get rid of that guy? Come on, man.
Timing thing. Same thing.
All I got to say is, did you see Seattle in the playoffs this year? Nope.
I can see a cricket button or something.
So, yeah. But again, guys, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, sorry, I'm kind of stuck on the subject. We haven't moved forward or nothing, but let's just kill this thing right here, man. Raider Nation is so inclined to be negative about everything we do. Okay. The first thing when Pete Carroll was getting hired was everybody talking about his age. His age. He's too old. He's too this. And I said it on the show. That motherfucker will come over there and fuck the shit out of your grandma right now, bro. Yeah. He will come in there and I mean at 73, he gonna boom them hips until they ain't no more dip.
Damn.
You
Wish
know?
my grandma was still alive.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, this man has a ton of energy. You saw it in the meeting. You saw that he's still energetic. He's still sharp, man. He still thinks. And he's still operating at a high level. I mean, like, he teaches a class at USC.
Mhm.
Bro, to say that he's not able to tune in with young men, absolutely incorrect. He's able to tune in with young men and women, and he's a teacher, bro. This is a key aspect that he brought to the table. Look, he's there to teach. He said, you know what? If my guys have to teach what I want, then my players will take over and they will teach. Bro, they talked about a program, building the program and the way they're going to do it. This is what the Raiders need, a change of culture. A guy that's going to say, hey, man, this is the way we do it. It doesn't have to be within this freaking box, but we're going to get the best out of you. We're going to get the best out of every single guy that comes through there. Bro, you don't have coaches like that walk through the door every single day. The one thing that I say is guys go, hey, well, I need star players. I need this. I need that. How many coaches can come in and say, I'm going to teach you how to do this?
Mhm. I'm curious on how he's going to help Aiden progress because I feel like Aiden's going to get better. I don't know if he's going to be starter material, you know what I mean? But I do feel like he's going to learn a lot from Pete and learn techniques. Like he's going to grow. He's going to grow this year, especially with a coach who has the right mindset, who has the correct teaching skills for quarterback.
I will say this, okay? Pete Carroll ain't stupid. He's going to look at what Aiden O'Connell can do if Aiden O'Connell's the starter, and he's going to make it as simple as possible for him. Hey, what did he say in the press conference? He said, we're going to build around the quarterback and we're going to make it as easy as possible for him.
I heard some interesting stuff in that press conference. Just
Yep.
the way it didn't seem like quarterback was the most important thing for him. I
No.
got a lot of that from that press conference. It was a lot of build around him, run the football, build an offensive line. So I don't know, man. I hope we're not. I hope we're not.
Old school football, man. I mean, that's
He'll see in 2.0. I'd rather have a better quarterback, but if it is,
Do
I'm
you
not sure.
do you think he's meaning like being able to build a team that can function with or without a good quarterback and still get the
And he's done it before. Exactly. Like I don't think he's. Look at what happened to Russell Wilson when he left Seattle. I mean, that's not a coincidence that he just stunk it up in Denver and he did okay in Pittsburgh. The guy was a rock star in Seattle. There's something to that, man. There's something to that.
look at the whole team that was in Seattle. The whole team. That whole draft that he pulled in. I mean,
That shit was crazy.
Batty B, check this out, right? You just said it. Yo, look at the roster in Seattle. How many UDFAs did he bring in? How many guys that were low round draft picks that he had? Hey, you remember how he signed Matt Flynn for an absolutely outrageous contract when he went to Seattle? And then the motherfucker is on the bench. He
yeah.
was on the bench for the
Hey, who
third
picked up the
round pick.
contract and traded for him?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, this guy's not scared to pull the trigger. He's not scared to look at a guy and say, yo, you ain't performing. This is the whole thing with AP, right? We said, hey, accountability. Oh, I'm going to hold guys accountable, but they're still on the field. They're still doing things like that they're not supposed to be doing. This dude is total opposite. He'll be like, "Hey man, you're not performing on the field. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Hey PD, hey, you over there by the dumpster, get over here. You can do a better job. Hey, get out of here. We're gonna get you a job right now." Bro, he got a green beret. Okay, the guy that was the long snapper. He literally came out and he said, "Man, I did not have no athletic ability, but Pete Carroll gave me a chance." Yeah, bro, he's like, no, he's like, "I have no athletic ability, but Pete Carroll came out and gave me the chance just because I was a dog." So he got signed as a long snapper. And he's like, "Bro, I can't tackle nobody. He's not fast enough to do shit." So, I mean,
All
like
right, all
at
you gotta
the
do
end
is
of the
fall
day,
forward.
yeah. So, and that's what I like, man. I mean, like, I like to see that this guy's gonna get guys that nobody believes in, that nobody sees potential in, and he has the ability to make them a star. Bro, there's a lot of people that left Seattle that when he left, bro, you were like, "Who is that guy?" Like, that guy's like, they're not good anymore. Bro, it's like Mike said, and you guys have all said, it has to be done something with the coaching. It has to be a guy that's in there saying, "Hey, what can he do? What can I do to get the best out of every single guy?" It's just like he said, my thing is getting the best out of what you got and making the best out of it. So I be like I said, the Raiders are just in a weird position, man, where we have a lot of those elements that are missing. That Pete Carroll goes like, "Dude, they're not big time essential parts." So that's something that I can't say, man, that any other coach had. If Ben Johnson came, what did he need? He needed a quarterback. That's the first thing that everybody was going to say. Oh, he needs this. This dude comes total opposite. He said,
He's trying to sound like his old head coach already. Like he's trying to regurgitate the shit he was doing and his head coach is doing in Detroit. And I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, man.
And it's just like everybody was like, we got to get Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's the new guy. Like that's the dude. That's the dude. The dude didn't even want to be here to begin with. Like that's already been busted.
Yeah.
Like
Why
they're
would you
like,
want somebody that didn't want to be with
yeah,
us? You know.
and they just ran with the story. They were like, God, he don't even want to go there. Like he's already going to be a Bear. We already know this. But let's just let that story keep going so we can get Raider fans to they'll keep falling into this shit that they do every year. And then people are like, oh, I told you, we're getting Ben Johnson, and then they're like, oh, we fucking suck 'cause we didn't get Ben Johnson, but he's not proven. How many times have we said, man, we got it? You're not just because you're a good coordinator doesn't mean you're going to be a good head coach. So and he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't come with the experience that Pete Carroll has, man. If you were to put both of those dudes in an interview room right now with 90% of the league, I bet Pete Carroll outsmarts or has the advantage in every one of those meetings.
It's special, man. It's a special head coach. Don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that anywhere. I mean, how many of them are actually really fucking special in the league, man? Like
Well,
I'm not
think
talking
about it.
about like just here and there. Like think about who's the special coaches in the league do more with less.
Exactly. And
Who are
then think about this too. The players nowadays aren't like the players when we grew up. These players nowadays have to be babied. They have to be, patted on the butt, told they're doing good, and things like that, So if you have a coach, especially that has played with players where it's like, we're some hard hitting people, like this. We don't play around, this is what we do. We play every single snap to being able to coach guys that don't do that, that sub in and out, that do their things and, they can get on their level. That, like you said, Gunny, that's special, man. Like you got to have that.
but I'll just say it like this. Gunny hit something on the head. He said, Ben Johnson is doing stuff and it sounds regurgitated. It doesn't sound authentic. Pete Carroll came out and said, I got to do things that I believe from the heart. from inside of me. Bro, that's just the shit that you don't fucking hear from coaches, bro. I mean, like, this is the thing that he's so secure in himself. He's so passionate about his philosophy and the way that he does things that he doesn't have to fake the funk. He doesn't have to find himself. Okay, if you're taking a Ben Johnson, if you're taking a rookie head coach, he has to find himself. He has to know what he's about. He has to find out what his non-negotiables are. You know, hey, what is this? What is that? I mean, like Matty B, I've hit you up with a couple questions. You coach youth football, and I said, hey man, what's this? What's that? You know, you're going to be in your first season as a head coach. You're still looking for all those things, right? You have your niche. You're really good at what you do on your side of the ball. That you understand that. But now having the other aspects of the game come in, you're trying to like mold that into your game plan. You're trying to be like, okay, we got to get this up. Just like, Ben Johnson called Dennis Allen from the Saints. And he said, hey, man, come over to my staff. All-star staff, number 27 ranked defense, but we want to complain about Patrick Graham. But again, I mean, like, bro, it's just those aspects that Pete Carroll is bringing that is so different, is so unique, and is so right for the Raiders organization right now. I mean, like, whether he's here 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, if he's able to change the culture, if he's able to change the way that players think, maybe we have Patrick Graham in the fold and he says, hey man, I want you to take over when I'm gone. Then you have a coach in the fold that, hey, I don't give a shit. People are going to be like, well, he's not offensive. Who cares?
Don't matter.
Man, do you guys remember what they did to the Seahawks staff when he was there? Year after year, coaches would leave to go to other places to continue to grow and develop. That means he gets good quality coaches. If we have that coming out of Raider Nation, we ain't got shit to worry about. Let the man work, sow his seed, do his thing. Show us. It's like Mike said, yeah, we got to get shown. Absolutely. Does he kind of come in and say, hey, man, but he doesn't have to show us. He has to show his players first. And that's why he's building his staff the way he is, with a mixture of guys that have been there, guys that are going to be new, and guys that have been before with him on his staff. He's going to have guys that know. Go ahead, Beth.
I was going to say, who was the last coach that we had that for more than one season?
Yep.
No, it was McDaniel. It was McDaniel.
Oh, McDaniels went for a season and a half too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had bad results.
I'm talking about John Gruden the first time. I'm not talking about
John
Gruden
Gruden the first time was probably
I think he was the last one. I can't think about everybody that was around, but it might be.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you are right.
Jack Del Rio, bro. Jack Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio, yeah. Maybe Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio. It's Gruden and Del Rio. I guarantee it was those two only. Check that out.
That's what I meant.
But again, and you're right. We're looking at that and we're saying Pete Carroll can bring that. And Pete Carroll can bring that with respectability. Okay? This is the thing. Everybody was saying, well, we need this coach. We need that coach. Guys, he was the only coach that was that, first of all, wanted to come coach the Raiders. We're not the sexiest job. But let's be real. We are not one of the jobs that people come in and say, oh, yeah, I want to go coach the Raiders. No.
You love John Gruden. Here he comes. He's the only one. He's the only one that wants to come coach his team.
He's like, I'm already under contract, man.
Yeah, right.
And Ben Johnson.
I kept sending those gifts.
No, you're right. And Ben Johnson and Matt hit it right. Ben Johnson didn't want to be here. The only reason he took that meeting was because Tom Brady asked him to, and it was a common courtesy thing where when the motherfucker that has 7 fucking Super Bowls calls you, you take the fucking interview. You said, yeah. But everybody was like, hey, when did you hear out of Ben Johnson's camp that he was highly interested in the Raiders? Never. So, I mean, like, what we did was get a guy that was interested in coaching us, a guy that wants to be there, and a guy that has a proven track record. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. The only thing that people can hate on is his age. Hey,
I don't see that. I see that as actually I see it as an advantage because he doesn't have much time. No, you got to do this shit now. But like, and if you understand, if you heard him over and over again, he's like, we're not waiting. We don't have a chance to do this over 3 years and 4 years. We got to do this now. We got to do it fast. I was like, fuck out! I'm talking about, man. I've been talking about that. You need somebody who wants to do it now, not break everything up every year.
Well, and the thing was, when he sent out that message and he said, Max, tell the guys we're coming, tell them to get ready. That to me is telling them, hey, man, we are here to work. We are here. And he kept saying, compete, right? I'd be like, hey, I can't wait till I get a big Raiders shirt that says compete with the big P. Like we had the Raiders last year. I want to see the Raiders shield with the compete. Compas. Compas Pete.
You know what? I might have that made.
Hey, Compa Pete.
Right now, dog.
Hey, Compa Pete is trademarked by Silver and Black Radio Podcast.
Put that on your trademark right now. Dude. Don't even post this until you get that trademark.
Yo, I'm telling you, this guy, man, it just feels different. And I'm like, we've hit a lot of check marks. Last year was a coach that was unproven. It was a coach that had a lot of hype. The year before that was the same fucking shit with McDaniels. He had this hype coming out of freaking New England that he was the best thing, and we all said it. Why the fuck are we hiring this guy? Like, dude, he was a shit show the first time. Pete Carroll's never had a fucking shit show. You know, he's had, like, when he was getting his experience, yeah. Like, he's got him fired. But this was in 1976.
I wouldn't
even post that.
You ain't got to worry about him going out and pulling a Nick Saban either. So,
yeah. And again, he's a program builder, man. A program builder, a guy that changes culture, a guy that's definitely going to take the Raiders in a positive direction, whether it's wins or losses. I don't know whether it's going to look like that, but I guarantee the locker room attitude, especially with the Devontae Adams situation and all the bullshit that was coming out of the freaking locker room last year, I guarantee you will not see that. All right.
Right.
What? We out here. Yo, we're going to wrap it up right now, Mike. All right. Hey, guys, please like, share, subscribe. This was our deep dive into Pete Carroll. Make sure you message Gunny, you message Val, you message Maddie B or myself. You guys let us know what's going on. It's all about one team. It's all about one nation. It's all about the
Raiders.